Hello, good afternoon. My name is Ivo Jensen. I'm a solution architect at AWS in the public sector team. So today we'll talk about some innovations in healthcare solutions here at AWS that are new here in 2023. So we'll start with a quick level set on why AWS is uniquely positioned to provide healthcare life sciences companies with relevant solutions. And then we'll dive into a little bit more detail for a few new services, which is Amazon Omics, and then some new features for Amazon Health Lake, namely Health Lake Imaging and Health Lake Analytics. Cool. So before we jump into AWS for healthcare specifically, wanted to highlight that here at AWS, we come from a mindset for innovation, and that really goes into everything we do. Lots have been written about our culture of innovation, but basically we have this concept of working backwards and starting with the customer and the consumer needs, and then working backwards from that. So what do we do then for healthcare and life sciences? We can provide the security and compliance and the privacy that you need. Thousands of healthcare life sciences companies already trust AWS with their data. Industry innovators like Moderna, GE, Philips Healthcare, they all choose AWS to store and analyze their most valuable resource, your clinical data, your research data on the cloud. And we offer the broadest and deepest portfolio of cloud-based services, providing you with a foundation that you can then build upon to foster data sharing and collaboration. We help you to aggregate that health data across disparate systems. We can normalize, structure your data using industry formats. We can do that fast. We can do that in minutes instead of weeks or months that you might need with legacy systems. And as we've heard in a previous session, we have a lot of value unlocking to do with machine learning capabilities. We have a broad and deep set of HIPAA-eligible data lake analytics, machine learning services that help you improve your clinical operational efficiencies and develop these personalized treatments that we need. Right. So we have a lot of services about that we'll talk about later. We use standardized APIs, standardized interoperable standards like FHIR to bring together that complete view for patients' medical history to make it easy for our clients to understand relationships in that data. So we understand your business. We know this space. We've been in the cloud business for 15 years. We've been in the healthcare and life sciences business for 8 years. We have a lot of experience with industry experts, and that has made us the trusted technology partner for the healthcare industry. So we have secure, compliant solutions, enabling this highly regulated space to unlock your potential. I talked about customer obsession, working backwards. It remains the focus on how we deal with customers across the spectrum of care, healthcare providers, focus at the point of care, healthcare payers, healthcare IT, medical device vendors, right? We provide that foundational technology to drive the security and the compliance that you need, and then basically allow you to worry less about the IT and the underlying undifferentiated heavy lifting for commodity IT and focus really on the patient outcomes. Nope. Going on too fast there. Just a little overview, a little eye chart, but we have thousands, literally thousands of healthcare, life sciences, genomics customers already work with AWS. So why should you trust us then, right? Why should you trust us with your data, your regulated and secure data? So in a most recent Gartner analyst report, we were noted as the most mature enterprise-ready provider with a strong track record of customer success and a useful partner ecosystem. So let's dive a little bit in each of those pieces, right? We have a comprehensive infrastructure. We have 31 regions around the whole world, providing the largest global footprint for scalability and performance and availability for our solutions. We can accelerate your machine learning with Amazon SageMaker and lately also some generative AI solutions that we just heard about earlier. And we can even offer you expertise to build that machine learning capability in-house. More organizations choose AWS for machine learning than any other cloud. Compliance and security. We always say here, security is job zero at AWS. We have over 130 HIPAA-eligible services that we can help you to comply with your compliance standards, HIPAA, high trust, GDPR, etc. And then we also partner with specific healthcare competency partners that have the technology and the consulting that we need to work together to provide you with the best solutions. Just one more point on that security and compliance, because it's so important for all our customers. We hear it time and time again. Your data stored in AWS remains your data. That's very important. So when you upload data to your account in AWS in a certain region, that data will not leave that region. Very important for instance, GDPR residency requirements. You also retain ownership and control over that data. So for instance, if you upload patient data and you build some ML models on it, those insights are only relevant to you and only accessible to you. Okay. So now that we positioned AWS in the space, let's dig into some of the newer offerings that we've recently announced. We have Amazon Omics, a part of purpose-built services for healthcare life sciences that really allows multimodal analysis across health data, from DNA and RNA all the way to health records and even medical images. With Amazon Health Lake, you can store and transform and query health data in the cloud, allowing you to benefit from a complete view of individual patient population data at scale. And then so we announced some new capabilities in imaging and analytics to allow you to move that medical imaging into the cloud and even perform even more advanced analytics and machine learning on that data. Two more services that I just want to touch on real quick, but we're not going to do a deep dive on that here today, is Amazon Comprehend Medical, a HIPAA-eligible service that does natural language processing. So basically uses machine learning out of the box. It's been pre-trained to understand and extract health data from like medical text, like prescriptions, diagnoses, procedures. And then also Amazon Transcribe Medical. It's an automatic speech recognition service. Makes it easy for you to add medical speech-to-text capability to your applications. Okay, let's dive into the first one. So genomic biological data has the potential to really transform how we treat diseases, but its scale is ginormous. So we've heard from customers that there's common challenges around this. Right? For instance, you need optimal ways to store this genomic data, cost efficient, easy to access. You need tools to analyze trends across millions of individuals and train these ML models. And then you need to scale that compute across millions of biological samples. So not just genomics data either, it's basically being able to compute and analyze all types of biological data that are driving that next wave of discovery, like maybe like protein folding, etc. And then, of course, like I said, we have to keep all that data safe and focus on security and compliance. So really an inflection point here where we see this cost of sequencing coming down over the past 2 decades. We've seen basically what is that? Basically a 100,000-fold reduction in cost since we first sequenced the genome over 20 years ago. And so that's why we've announced Amazon Omics, a purpose-built service that helps healthcare life sciences organizations to build at scale, to store, query, and analyze genomic, transcriptomic, other omics data. And by removing that undifferentiated heavy lifting of figuring out how to store that data, you can generate your insights from all this omics data easily to advance your discoveries. Core set of benefits for Amazon Omics. So with this multimodal analysis, you can now securely combine the genome data of individuals with their medical history to deliver a more personalized care. You can use these purpose-built data stores for genomic data to support large-scale analysis and collaborative research. We have built a workflow implementations, so you can do easy workflow computations across all this data. And then again, keep coming back to this, protect patient privacy with our GDPR ready and HIPAA eligible services. So there's 3 parts to the Omics solution. So it's the storage of genomic data, the workflow, and then the analytics. So we're going to dive a little bit deeper into each of these. Omics storage provides dedicated cloud storage compliant with these bioinformatics file formats like FASTQ, BAM, and it allows you to store petabytes of data at low cost. So this data is imported as immutable object with unique identifiers, and then you have access to individual data objects, including references, read sets that you can control through attribute-based access controls through our IAM service. It then makes it easier for researchers to tag and assign permissions and then share that data securely with collaborators. So that really simplifies on how you make all your genomics data findable, accessible, interoperable, reusable. And then with this domain-specific metadata, you can then link these Omics data stores with other healthcare data to facilitate that multimodal analysis. We also focus on cost to reduce long-term storage costs. Data objects that have not been accessed within, let's say, 30 days are automatically moved to archive storage classes. So archive objects can then be reactivated anytime, but basically while they're in this archive class, you don't pay as much for storage. Second core benefit, workflows, where we help you to run that bioinformatics analysis at scale. So basically just specify your workflow definition, the tools you want to use and the data you want to analyze. And then Amazon Omics will automatically provision the underlying infrastructure. So there's no more spinning up VMs. We provision all that stuff. We implement the workflow so you can just focus on the science. These workflow definitions are compliant with the WDL, Nextflow specifications, right? You can even bring your own workflows in a Docker container stored in Amazon ECR. And then you can analyze this data sitting in either S3 buckets or in the Amazon Omics data stores. And you can control who has access to workflows, how much resources you want to use, and kind of what priority you want to give to these workflows. And that all leads to very predictable costs. The cost basically is per workflow rather than having to worry about how many servers you have to buy. So, like I said, 2 different ways of running a workflow. You can bring your own software Docker containers with your computations. You can build basically on the amount of compute resources you use. Or you can use a workflow from one of our ready-to-run ISV partners who have pre-built these workflows that you can use. So we have partnered with a number of ISV partners that have pre-built these workflows and they're built basically per run. Okay, third benefit, analytics, right? So Amazon Omics allows you to ingest and transform the genomics data, and we can transform it into data analytics ready formats such as Apache Parquet. So you can make the genomics data now accessible through all kinds of analytics services. We have our own Amazon Athena, but it could be any other third-party analytics service as well. So again, you can control access on a very fine-grained level to access these analytics stores, making it easier for you to perform queries across diverse data sources. Example, this again allows you to securely combine your genome data with the medical history from HealthLake. That could include prior treatments, medications, lab reports, and really hone down on precision personalized medicine. Top use cases we've seen for Amazon Omics are scaled population sequencing, where we can analyze thousands of genomes at once to really understand how genomic variation maps to phenotypes across a population. Improve your genomics workflows, so you can build reproducible, traceable clinical workflows from this raw sequence data. Accelerate clinical trials by integrating this genome analysis into the clinical trials to test new drug candidates' efficacy and really speed up those clinical trials. And then enhance your research as well, streamline, control, storage, and access and analysis of this anonymized genomics data for researchers. And again, you can control exactly who has access to what data and where. Already, we announced it, this service in reInvent 2022, and already we have a good number of customers with public references. Here's just one example from Ultima Genomics. They've been early adopters of Amazonomics and ready to run workflows, these pre-built workflows that you can just click and apply to your data. Okay, let's talk about the second feature I wanted to talk about today, Amazon Health Lake Imaging. Amazon Health Lake proper has been around for a few years. So Amazon Health Lake is a HIPAA-eligible service that provides FHIR APIs that can help you to securely transform and store and analyze health data in the cloud, really giving that chronological view for the patient at the patient level. Now we've gone one step further with Health Lake Imaging. It's a new capability that makes it easy to store, access, and analyze medical images at petabyte scale. So across the world in a single year, there's more than 5.5 billion imaging procedures being performed, and it continues to grow. And the typical image study size has really doubled over the past decade to an average of about 150 megabytes. So healthcare companies have asked us, how can we help them manage this ever-growing storage need for medical imaging? So we started working backwards from our customers' need around medical imaging, and we discovered there's often multiple copies of that same procedure data being stored on premise. Like a 1 gig CAT scan might be stored on a scanner and various PACS systems, the image sharing system, disaster recovery system, other specialty workstations. And that's really because the DICOM protocol, it's like 30 years old now, really doesn't allow for that to be optimized in the easier way. So not only do these extra copies increase storage costs, they only increase the complexity with keeping everything in sync. So it became clear to us that we could eliminate these extra copies by providing scalable and fast access to your image data. So Amazon Health Lake Imaging enables you to store 1 copy of the image data, and that can tremendously reduce your TCO. It's not always about cost, it's also about speed. Our customers told us that if we want to do this in the cloud, clinicians still need to be able to view these images fast, or even faster than they currently can with their on-premise system. So Amazon Health Lake Imaging can deliver these images with sub-second access from anywhere in the world, even on a smartphone. And that really is because of our high-speed, low-latency global AWS network. Getting started is pretty easy. You basically start by staging your DICOM images in an S3 bucket. S3 is our object store, our object data store in the cloud. That's actually fairly easy to do. We have many S3 enabled products available from our partner network to help you stage those medical images in an S3 buckets. Then you invoke an API to import the DICOM data into Health Lake Imaging. Health Lake Imaging then reads the DICOM data from the S3 bucket and optimizes for storage and fast access. And then your medical image data can then be accessed with sub-second data speeds from image viewing applications, again, from our ISV partners that make that available, or run it through SageMaker, our machine learning application, or maybe even grant access to your images to remote users, again, with this fine level access control. So it brings incredible scale. Health Lake, with its scale that we can support, can easily handle the daily ingestion workload for new procedures while ingesting multiple petabytes of data from existing systems. So scalable ingestion is not only important to support these clinical workloads, it also saves you money in case you want to do some kind of PACS migration and archive consolidation. Really, you got to think about Health Lake Imaging as a building block right? A building block for builders. It allows developers to focus on delivering more high-value functionality and spend less time on actually building the underlying storage. So health-like imaging really is workflow agnostic, can be used to build applications in a variety of industries, clinical, research, medical device, pharma, right? And again, health-like imaging remains DICOM compliant, so your data will remain interoperable with standards-based solutions. We have customers today building applications for enterprise imaging systems. We have partners building that as well. For AI/ML use cases, customers are building solutions that will allow them to build cohorts over the entire archive in just hours. The scale is tremendous here. Customers are using health-like imaging with SageMaker for training. We earlier saw in a different session how the new developments in generative AI can really advance what we can do with Health Lake data, whether that's the FHIR data in Amazon Health Lake or this medical DICOM images in Amazon Health Lake imaging. And we can bring all that stuff together and to really run inference and new applications at scale. Amazon QuickSight is our business intelligence tool for operational dashboards. So that's another integration way to really integrate your health data with dashboarding. And also, we see customers starting to use Amazon Health Lake imaging for long-term image archival, allowing them to reduce cost associated with on-premise storage management. Again, this takes a lot of work from our partner network. We work with a lot of ISV partners, building these next generation solutions on top of this Health Lake imaging data store. Health Lake imaging is still in preview, so it's not generally available yet, but you can go to our website and apply for preview access if you want to play with it. We have a lot of customers already playing with it. Here's a case study from my home country of the Netherlands. Radboud UMC is building an AI solution on top of Health Lake imaging by bringing innovative machine learning algorithms to their clinicians and provide value that way. Okay, one more topic, analytics. So let's talk about how we can integrate all these analytics tools to Amazon Health Lake, right? So we've talked about storing medical records with the FHIR API into Amazon Health Lake. We've talked about how to store medical images, DICOM images in Amazon Health Lake imaging. So how now can we take advantage of that and provide value and accelerate innovation? So let's talk about 3 different ways that you can potentially leverage all this data and use it. So let's talk about creating dashboards. We have a BI tool called Amazon QuickSight, where you can easily and quickly explore trends about your patients or populations and provide that personalized care at the individual level. Let's talk about machine learning insights, right? So Amazon SageMaker is our machine learning service. Traditionally, we focused on models within Amazon SageMaker, and as we've seen in other sessions previously today, now generative AI unlocks a whole new set of innovative solutions that we can build on top of all that health data that you now have centralized in the cloud. Easy to build, train, deploy machine learning models with SageMakers to make predictions earlier than would have been possible previously, and then intervene more quickly to provide improved care. And let's talk about data sharing. It's now easy to share and access this data in a secure, compliant, and auditable way using standard APIs. And of course, with GDPR compliance and HIPAA eligibility, you can be confident that your patient's data remains secure and the privacy remains protected. Real quick, here's an example dashboard that we created in a demo. Pull together all of that structured health data to see a complete view of a patient's medical history, look at trends, the disease progression, giving you new tools to improve that care. Okay, so let's wrap this up. What does this all mean, right? So you can see now how across these different types of the health data, you're making it easier to perform multimodal analysis. So let's take these three investments in healthcare records, omics, and imaging. Right? We have all this raw data, and it usually needs to undergo a transformation first in order to make it more amenable for advanced analytics and machine learning. Like the fire data could be flattened, converted in analytics-friendly formats like Amazon Apache Parquet. Variant annotation data can be mapped to coordinate systems. We can extract the imaging metadata from your DICOM images, extract it in the common data model. And then really, we can then bring all that together into various tools, right? It could be that you'd like to have some SQL access to that data. So Amazon Athena provides a SQL layer on top of that Amazon Parquet data that can look at your fire data or your metadata. We have a service called Amazon EMR, which provides big data computations with Spark. We talked about SageMaker, our machine learning platform, with the new innovations in generative AI, a whole new world of analytics and new use cases can be explored over the next years. And we talked about business intelligence dashboarding with Amazon QuickSight. And the advantage of this standardized approach is that it also allows you to bring your own third-party applications of choice, as all this data sits still in open standards formats, such as Amazon Apache Parquet, Fire, and DICOM. So our goal really is to simplify this as much as possible for you, remove that undifferentiated heavy lifting, so you can focus on care and not technology. Okay, that brings us to the end of this overview. If you have any further questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email address is on the screen, and thank you.